Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
Hey guys, this is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you are watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the little notify bell next to it to make sure you always get your new Going In Raw notifications. We're also available on the Patreon.
Tranquilo there, dead man.
Patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Starting to get a little sweaty in this office of ours.
It's warm.
Man.
It's balmy in here.
Yeah, I might turn that off in a second.
It feels nice right now.
Anyways, yeah, for a second.
Like a warm blanket. I want to take a nap.
Wait about 10 minutes where we start talking about this friggin' Vince howling with laughter over a dog.
It could basically be non-news. This is the least surprising bit of news I've heard in a long time.
Oh, I know. This totally could be like nobody needed to tell me that he thought this was endlessly hilarious.
That's the only reason
we
made
said
it on the
I
show.
think before SmackDown started, we were like, yeah, they're going to double down on this dog thing.
Well, they're going to double down on Baron and dog thing.
Right.
And then they did.
Right. So, like I said, we're on the Patreon. Last week, we had a heck of a week for bonus content on the Patreon. We're trying to bring a bit more focus to the bonus content stuff.
Yeah.
So, in keeping with that, last week we had a Mandalorian Episode 1 review.
Yeah.
I have not seen the subsequent episodes. Is 2 and 3 dropped?
Just 2, I believe.
Okay.
It's tops, man. It's fun stuff.
So, no spoil. Oh, okay, cool. No
Yeah.
spoilers, please. And then we also did a 1-year retrospective on Becky Lynch after she bloodied up her nose in the lead up to last year's Survivor Series. We did the impossible and defined the term buried specifically as it pertains to wrestling.
Yes.
That was a fun discussion.
Maybe today we should talk Bash the Beach Reborn.
Hey, that's a good idea. Yeah, we'll talk about what the best because Bash of the Beach is coming back. To AEW now.
Yeah, it's a themed episode of Dynamite, the prologue, if you will, to Jericho Cruise.
There's actually been a bunch of little AEW tidbits this morning that have dropped in kayfabe, of course. Hangman Page.
We can get to that later. That's part of the actual news notes.
Yeah, I need a spoiler alert that one, so we'll get part of that.
Yeah.
But I do want to shout out this real quick. Over the weekend, we did get some new patrons: Stefan Hartz, John Justice, Cameron Scott, and Chuck Lantern.
Oh man.
Well, yeah, man.
Some strong sounding names.
Oh, terrific. Just
Chuck
terrific.
Lantern.
Thanks everybody for your support. And we also got a new channel member.
Oh, we do.
Who is this? David Dodson.
Thank you, David.
Thank you very much. Gustavo Gama dropped a super chat on us just now and said, blaze it. He's either an arsonist or, given the amount of his super chat, $4.20. He might be a marijuana aficionado.
And App One, thank you. Ray P1, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your support, for your super
Yes.
chats.
Thank you.
So let's get right into the
All
news.
right.
While you start reading this, I'm going to go turn off
Fair enough.
the heat because it's going to retain.
It's going to get cold then after you turn the heat off. I'm going to go put my jacket back on. Anyways, this is from WrestlingNews.co. Quote, I'm told that Vince McMahon was howling with laughter backstage and loved everything about the segment. Of course, that being the dog mascot. I'd assume the Chihuahua and Roman gear on the Titantron as well.
So for the 90% of you who continue to watch SmackDown from the previous week, you'll know that it opened up
If you haven't seen it, but you haven't seen it, look at the thumb. There's that might be Villanova. They're in Philadelphia. That might have been Villanova's mascot. I don't remember if they have a bulldog mascot or not. Nonetheless, there is a bulldog like college mascot. So person in bulldog suit. Mm-hmm. They put a Roman vest on. Yeah. Baron Corbin called out Roman of the Ring. Instead of Roman actually showing up, we had mascot and Roman vest with Titantron of Chihuahua in Roman gear with a high-pitched bark.
Yeah.
Anyways, continuing on from WrestlingNews.co, quote, others in the company were not a fan of the segment, but they are not going to express these thoughts to McMahon. One WWE source told me, not me personally, WrestlingNews.co. Remember, the writers are trying to make Vince happy. If he's happy, that means that jobs are safe. Vince has always been a fan of segments that parody his wrestlers. As long as Vince is around, you will always see segments like that one.
Mm-hmm. And then continuing on, the site also noted, and this is something that we talked a lot about on the stream and I think on the recap, also notes that Vince is really into Baron Corbin right now, noting that, quote, McMahon thought that Baron Corbin has done a lot to improve and love what he's doing.
I mean,
which is fine.
Baron has done a lot to improve.
But, like, dude, it was literally a year ago.
11 months ago.
That going heavy on Baron Corbin as like your lead bad guy sank the ratings and led to the McMahon shakeup. New matchups, new faces.
Which, to be fair, lasted all about 3 or 4 weeks.
And look at what's happened in the interim. We got
Apparently,
Baron Corbin, winner, King of the Ring. Baron Corbin, lead baddie on arguably their A show.
Apparently, too, the whole no automatic rematch thing's out the window, too.
I don't. That's such a small. I don't like. It's
just
Baron
another thing from the McMahon shakeup that is out the window.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's the only reason I bring it up.
Yeah. That's something I'm willing to forgive, though, if I get matches like the Revival versus the New Day. I'm fine. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I never cared about that in the first place.
When this happened, we knew or felt strongly that this is something Vince probably loved. Mm-hmm. This is the type of stuff that historically he's been super into. I'm only surprised that there was no farts involved in it.
It's
because I've been totally up Vince's corner.
Yeah. Well, you can't throw everything. You can't throw all your A material out there.
Snow cones in there as well. There's everything that Vince loves. Farts, parody, snow cones.
Snow cones. There you go. It's funny. I was listening to the Survivor Series, something to wrestle. Survivor Series 99, something to wrestle with. I think it just dropped over the weekend, or it came out this week. And I was listening to that. And, obviously Bruce Pritchard, he's the executive director of SmackDown. He's the lead SmackDown creative guy. And Conrad brought up just how lackluster Survivor Series 99 was, especially as compared to 98.
Yeah.
Because, of course, Vince Russo had left about 2 months prior to Survivor Series 99. And he's like, there's just a lot more structure in 98. Everybody seemed to have been involved in something. And whether you're a fan of Vince Russo or not, he did seem to bring some amount of direction and interweaving plot lines that really did work once it was filtered through Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
That combo, for whatever reason, seemed to work really, really well.
Yeah.
And then you see what happens when he's gone. You have these random matchups like, the Mean Street Posse versus it was like Steve Blackman and then like 2 others. And Conrad was like, why was this thrown together? He was like, I don't know. Probably because we put together the card, people were left over and said, hey, put them on pay-per-view. And that's the kind of thinking when you get like, when there's not a writer there who's like, who appreciates,
who has a vision.
Yeah, who has a vision. Exactly. And like Russo or not, when he was at WWE under the right circumstances, the man had vision and he could write, And now you get Bruce Pritchard, who by all accounts is basically a yes man. I mean, if you listen to him on his own show and Conrad challenges him, he's like, well, yeah, Vince wanted to do this. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. He likes having a job, so of course he's going to be a yes man to the guy.
So.
And that's according to what's happening here.
Yeah, apparently, because this was not good.
It wasn't.
Interesting. It doesn't really advance anything.
And as a result, perhaps related to this, SmackDown's ratings sank to a low for Fox. Obviously, it was on Fox Sports 1. It did like terrible 800,000
or whatever. 1 million that week.
But since it's been on Fox for the month and a half or whatever it's been on Fox, it sank to a new low on that channel this week, averaging around 2.35 million, down from about 2.6 million. So I think it's like 10%.
Yeah, roughly 10%.
Yeah.
So, we'd heard prior to SmackDown's move to Fox that the goal was around 3 million.
Yeah.
Heading the wrong way.
They're running away from that in the wrong direction.
Yes, they want to turn it around and up.
Yeah, they're below expectations, not exceeding expectations.
But then you also hear that Fox is like happy with presentation. They're happy with the show. I don't know if I've really heard anything about happy with the actual viewership numbers, but
if this
seems
settles,
like every other metric.
Yeah, man, if this settles down into like 2 million, which it's going to.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Raw's doing nowadays.
It's going to do. I think that there's a segment of fans, and this is pure speculation on my part, there's a segment of fans who you had the excitement of the Fox thing. Oh, they're putting a bunch of money into it. They got a snazzy graphics. But at the end of the day, Larson, what matters?
Content matters. The content's not good, no one's going to watch.
The story, if nobody's invested in what's going on, if it's this is just the same thing they were doing before,
no one's going to care.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
None of it matters.
And you're not going to pick up a whole lot of new wrestling fans when you have Baron Corbin of all people in a ridiculous king getup, coming out there and talking trash to Roman and bringing out a mascot.
Yeah,
that's one of those segments we talk about. Like if our wives were watching, we'd have it'd be embarrassment and explaining why we're doing this for a living.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas I'm actually gonna try to get, and I know you guys are shills. Like AEW is the kind of thing where I don't really feel like that would be the case. They never have anything that's like super cringy. So I want to try to get Lacey into something because she seemed to really like Orange Cassidy. But I don't know, man. Like NXT is too, I think, wrestling heavy for her. AEW is like they add a lot more of the sort of the fun.
Yeah, it's a fun show.
Some fun cheesy stuff, that I think
not
people,
too cheesy.
Right, exactly. Not like just cringy. But I think that WWE, regardless, at this point in time, has like 2 million or so people. They'll tune in regardless.
At least for the first hour.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
If they see something wretched, they may turn the channel.
Because it's also like the baseline number for the network is like what, 1.6 million, something like that.
It's sort of between like 1.45 and 6. It fluctuates.
So like
obviously.
your bottom, I think your floor
is about 1.5 million people.
About 1.5 million people, and then the other people will tune in just to see is this getting any better?
Yeah, pretty
much.
Is
this getting any better?
Yeah,
And so I don't know. What do you think? Like, do you think at some point is a Fox executive going to be assigned maybe to SmackDown and be like a heavy-handed intermediary?
I feel like to keep going with dog metaphors, WWE's been given they're going to be given a pretty decent leash, I think.
You think so? Yeah.
6 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 5-year deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
4-year deal.
Worth, by the way,
about $1 billion.
About $1 billion.
4 or 5 years deal. I can't remember.
I think it's 5. Yeah, I think it's 5 for 200 million.
Yeah. So they'll be given 6 months to figure things out themselves. This is what my gut's telling me. And then if after 6 months they're still doldrums, then Fox is going to start, knocking on doors saying something's got to change. We could have kept reruns of The Family Guy on there and done just as good numbers, and it wouldn't cost us as much money.
Because I think this was also the first week that, and I'm pretty sure I saw there was an article in Variety or Hollywood Reporter, something like that said this is the first week that SmackDown wasn't like number one or something. Like Hawaii 5-0 beat it this week.
Wow.
But then they had like the number was wrong on like ratings, so I was like, I didn't use that for a source.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently Hawaii 5-0 beat SmackDown this week.
Is it with a certain demo?
Maybe, I don't know.
The 50-plus demo?
Well, nobody's beating us in the 50-plus demo. I mean, maybe it was a rerun of Hawaii 5-0 from back in the day. But there's like a new one now, or a new-ish one.
Yeah, I know.
That's been around for a little while.
Yeah, it's been around for a few seasons. The original Hawaii 5-0.
The original one is like...
Well, it was old, but that was like a stylish show back in the day, man. My dad used to watch that.
Yeah, no, it was... who was the lead in that?
Jack.
He had the most amazing hair. Conan O'Brien like modeled his hair after him.
I feel like I know his name, but
I know. I should know what it is.
I feel like I know what it is. I'm going to look it up real quick.
While you do that real quick, a couple more super chats. Johann von Wolfhausen put Alistar in the black suit. Jack Lord, there you go. He says, put Alistar in the black suit, give him the 24/7 title, and have the whole locker room coming after him and basically beat John Wick. That could be interesting. That'd be a decent way to elevate that title if you wanted to do that.
Maybe.
Eternal Blue says, I'm glad I don't watch WWE anymore. Yikes. Thanks for suffering so I don't have to. Love you guys. Hashtag bring back our Supersonics.
Wow, that's going to be a bone of contention, Steve, there.
No, I'm all for bringing back the Supersonics, just not at the expense of my Sacramento Kings, which, by the way, eked out a 1-point victory against the Celtics. If you eliminate those first 5 games from the season,
they're doing really well.
We're doing really well.
Yeah, man. It's a long season. By the time game 75 rolls around, the first 5 games will be long forgotten.
We'd be 5-2 if you just take away those first 5 games.
Instead of 5-7.
Instead of 5-7.
It's an arbitrary.
Well, not our. It was the first 5 games we lost. So yeah, man, I'll counter with this. I don't think they're going to be given 6 months, man. I think they're going to be given like under 2 million. I think at that point, Fox will be like, listen, and maybe that'll be at the 6 month mark. Maybe it'll take that long, but I do think that it's going to be a matter of like viewership number
But I think also if they drop below $2 million, that's when Fox is like, all right, you guys better do something about this, or we're going to step in. So they'll be given an amount of time to do something about it.
You think they're going to be given a verbal warning, and then a written warning?
Yeah.
And then,
yeah, maybe.
And then somebody takes over.
There'll first be a phone call to Vince. Hey, you got to do something about this.
Mm-hmm.
Given a month.
Stern letter.
As a reminder.
Yeah.
Such and such executive.
As per our verbal agreement.
Yeah, per our conversation, Mr. McMahon. You were given instructions to raise ratings by this much by this point in time. It has not been done. This is a written notice that if you do not accomplish this by this time, we will step in.
Who would have thought Eric Bischoff was the glue holding SmackDown together?
Well, I mean, that's
not
flattering to Eric Bischoff.
That's not even close. Not even close. Anyways, man. Yeah. Anyways, let's see here. Oh, cool. Okay. Before we continue, here's a word from our sponsor, forhims.com. You know, like Baron Corbin, 66% of men start losing their hair by the age of 35. And once you start noticing your hair up there go bye-bye, it can be too late.
But do you want a bald spot to pop up or your hairline to or do you want to do something about it first?
Uh-huh.
And why would you try odd solutions when you turn to medicine and science? What do you think, Baron?
I like solutions that are odd.
No, of course you go with medicine and science, Baron.
Oh. Well, he has a crown that he can hide his bald spot from.
True.
With 4hims.com, you can be the best version of yourself with licensed doctors and FDA-approved products to help treat your hair loss. We're talking prescription solutions backed by science, Baron.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Hims was created by a dude who knew that some men's health conversations easier had online rather than in person. So with Hims, you don't have to stress about awkward in-person doctor visits or long wait times at the pharmacy. 4hims.com connects you with real doctors. And all you got to do is answer a few questions. The doctor will review your responses, and if they determine it's right for you, can prescribe you medication to treat your hair loss that's sent right to your door. Completely confidential. Try that again. Completely confidential and totally discreet.
Get the hair loss treatment everyone is talking about, and right now. Friendos can get started with the Hims Complete Hair Kit for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last, and subject to doctor's approval. See website for full details and safety information. This could cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or pharmacy somewhere else.
Go to forhims.com/GIR. That's forhims.com/GIR. forhims.com/GIR.
Another guy who might make use of some hymns, Oney Lorcan, apparently wants out of the WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, it was not that long ago that dude was showing up.
He was everywhere.
I kind of feel like Oney Lorcan busted through his ceiling in the WWE for a spell, and then lately he's sort of been nowhere.
Yeah, he's been sleeping under park benches apparently, but he's tired of that. He wants to go out and do some stuff. He even changed his Twitter handle from Oney Lorcan to Biff Busick. So
Busick or Busick?
Maybe it's Busick. That makes more sense. Anyway, this is from PW Insider. Oney Lorcan, a.k.a. the former Biff Busick, requested the WWE release at the end of last month. Guess that'd be October. PW Insider has confirmed with multiple sources. Lorcan, who teamed with Danny Burch in WWE NXT and 205 Live, has not been granted his release. Not been granted.
Not surprising.
So Lorcan's followed Mike Kanellis and Sin Cara. Both of them publicly requested their release, asking for their release apparently within the recent months. You can go back further earlier in the year. Luke Harper publicly requested his release.
Oh, yeah.
All have been denied. But Meltzer says in the most recent in the most recent Wrestling Observer newsletter, that might be changing. He's talking about Sin Cara's case specifically with this quote. This is what he has to say, quote, however, it was noted that they may be giving WWE, giving releases to some people with the idea they don't believe they would be going to AEW, or if they do, wouldn't help them. And it's possible he, that being Sin Cara, will get his release.
I thought there was something. So Cultaholic had something, and I forget who they sourced for this, that WWE would consider giving releases also. It's like with they sign a new like a release contract, it's like a no compete thing, saying that they would not go to AEW, anybody that WWE considers competition.
Yeah.
So anybody with a TV deal or anybody.
So probably AEW, Impact, and New Japan.
Yeah. then they speculated it was Pacitti and Sam. They speculated that that could also, in this day and age, mean anybody who has a VOD streaming deal, which would basically limit them to like your local high school gym promotion.
Yeah. Then do they specify what that no compete clause would it last whatever time you had left in your contract, or is it longer than 90 days?
No, but I would speculate that it would make sense that it would be the length of the contract, right? Because
or the remaining term on the deal.
The remaining term of the deal, yeah, exactly. So instead of just you're sitting at home and we're paying you, it would be, you can get out of your deal, and if you think you can make more money out there on the super indie circuit,
good luck to you.
Have at it.
Yeah.
But you're not doing that.
For example,
regardless for the length of your contract, you ain't going to.
For example, Mike Kanellis, who I think Sin Cara recently signed a new deal too.
That would be it. I mean, I don't know.
Guys who just signed new deals, so more or less have 4.5 years, 4.5 years, maybe 3 years left on their deals.
You want the rest of your contract, like, be hoping that you're going to be able to keep your name up. I mean, he's in his mid to late 30s.
Okay,
Kanellis is. Yeah. I mean, Sin Cara is a very unique situation in that WWE owns like the name, and I don't know about the mask or not, but like the Sin Cara IP, that's theirs.
I mean, the current Sin Cara is the second Sin Cara.
Right, exactly.
If they really want to keep Sin Cara, they can find a new Sin Cara.
So they got to go and ask themselves. And it's funny because
I mean, the reason, I guess, back in the day, and they released the original Sin Cara, they replaced him, put someone else under the mask, is that the Sin Cara merch sold really well.
Yeah.
That was years ago.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
But if that's not the case anymore, maybe they don't really care.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not like the guy under the mask would go to AEW and drop one of them shoot interviews in the middle, which they don't do anyways. But you know my point. Like, oh man, that guy used to be Sin Cara. Let's hear what he has to say. He's a big name. That's a sort of a different situation. I would be surprised and I wouldn't be surprised. It's like, how is that going to help anybody, really?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, a guy like Mike Kanellis, obviously, he can go any number of places. He can go to any of those places and excel the way Hideo Itami's excelled in New Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if did they I honestly forget with Kenta. Did his contract just run out, or they actually let him go?
They let him go.
They let him go, right? Yeah.
I think he and Ty were the last people they let go.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And since then,
and it's like you see how much better they're used anywhere else. I don't know, man.
Let's talk ACH, Super ACH.
Yeah.
So he publicly quit WWE, I believe, last week.
Yeah.
But him quitting is not the same as him being out of a contract. So he did a Twitter QA over the weekend. He was asked about his employment status and whether he'd be able to wrestle elsewhere. He responded, quote, "Legally no, mentally yes." Mm-hmm. So it seems he's still under WWE contract.
Yeah.
In the same Q&A, he said he wants to go to New Japan, or he'd like to go to New Japan.
Yeah. That actually kind of made me laugh that he had his own bucket list, because one of the responses was like, "Dude, you weren't in the WWE like 6 months ago." Is there anybody you didn't wrestle before that sprung up on the scene all of a sudden? Like, you were in New Japan, we saw that. That's kind of fun to me. That's kind of funny because it's like, it's one thing to be like, "Hey, I just got here. This place sucks. They're racist, whatever." Like, okay, I get it. But then to be like, "Oh man, all the things that I could do out there on the indie scene, you were just there." You were just there, man.
We signed early this year, right?
Yeah,
I think.
I mean, in 2018, which really wasn't that long ago, he was like out there wrestling for New Japan, indie scene, all that kind of stuff. It sort of made me chuckle. Anyways.
Someone else, apparently, this is spoiler territory, so you haven't seen New Being the Elite. Like, stop watching or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fast forward. Someone who is out on their own. Hangman Adam Page looks like he's going to be riding solo for the time being, because in the latest Being the Elite, seems like he quit the Elite. Page broke the news to the Young Bucks towards the end of the newest episode, telling them, quote, "I can't keep being the least successful member of the Elite. I lost to Jericho. I lost to Pac. That is always how it's been. I've been the least successful member of this group the entire time, and I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry, guys. We're still cool. I'm just gonna ride alone for a while.
Yeah. This was a really, really good promo in a room with, like, I think just the iPhone mic or whatever they were filming with.
Yeah.
I really hope that they recreate this in the ring or in an interview segment on TV.
Commentary mentioned it.
Because I think this could be, I think that he could really reach a lot of people who are watching the product if he's in the ring or interview area, and he does this with a lot of passion, the way we saw in this dimly lit room with an echoey walls and a micro and like no microphone.
Gonna make a passing reference to it.
Oh man, yeah, it's actually pretty. There's like a lot of stuff going on with the Elite this week.
Yeah, the bit with Kenny that precedes it is pretty good too, where they were like, "Hey, you're not the same Kenny that we knew in Japan that we wanted to bring with us to All Elite Wrestling," and all he could talk about was Mox.
It just has it's which is really good stuff. Again, I want to see it on TV with proper production because it just comes off like one of our. I made this joke and it totally fit. Yeah. It comes off like one of our old junior college student films on videotape, on literal videotape, by the way.
Yep.
Because Nick just sits there. What's going on, man? What's happening?
The bit at the
here,
beginning,
man?
though, with the
merch freak stuff is great.
That was great. That was hilarious.
That's hilarious stuff.
That was really good.
Yeah. Merch freak. Because he's doing either cross between
David Blaine and Chris Angel, yeah.
Chris Angel. Hey, you want to see a trick? That's really good stuff. That's funny stuff. I didn't know that Nick had that much of a funny bone there.
Yeah,
because anytime I've seen him, he's sort of not the funniest dude in the world.
Yeah.
This is really
this is really good. He's got a damn stuff. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Someone in chat brings up here Gilberto, the rate WB poaches talent from other promotions. How many wrestlers in the industry haven't been involved with WB in some way or the other? I mean, that's part of the issue too. I wonder with people asking for the release is we're still in the midst, I think, of WB going up and signing up everybody they can.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a point where there's just too many. You have to reach that point already.
That point
there's
was
just
a little while
too
ago.
many people under contract, so there's going to be a lot of people who aren't involved.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, NXT does a pretty darn good job of utilizing the talent that they have. I mean, I honestly didn't think we'd see this much of Jonah Rock at this point, and they really seem to like him, Bronson Reed. They really seem to understand how great Shane Strickland is, Isaiah Scott.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Dexter Lumis, although he's been doing dark matches on TV, and obviously all these people. But when you look at photos of like the Coconut Loop house show, it all seems to be people who, for the I'm not going to say everybody, but like, there's a lot of very developmental talent there. They are using a lot of people on TV. I mean, the ones that stand out that aren't on TV right now are Perazzo and Chelsea Green. They should be on TV.
Yeah, I don't know why either of them are on TV.
I don't know if they're going to try to get them in as a tag team or what. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work.
I don't know.
But NXT's done a decent job of actually utilizing talent, even though we have heard that there are people there that aren't happy also.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I know Meltzer had said something about Shayna. She was supposed to get like a big push on main roster. But then once the USA deal thing, they're basically like clean slating her title shot.
Yeah.
It's like they can now reference, she's going to be, I think she's going to be there at least to break Asuka's record for consecutive days.
Whoever beats her is a huge deal.
Is a big deal, yeah. Which I still don't think. I mean, you could look at Rhea Ripley, but I still don't think I don't think there's anybody so far that they are building to the point where they're legit enough.
Seems like Rhea's going to be the closest. I mean, we'll find out come Mania weekend, unless they have a takeover between Survivor Series and then.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's another takeover till, of course, there's not one Rumble weekend because they got Worlds Collide. If they wait till Mania weekend to do another one, that's another 5 months, 4.5 months to build up Rhea.
Yeah, Angel Garza, Cameron Grimes, two more guys that they feature. They are able to get them in there. I mean, you look at how they've incorporated.
There's also a lot of guys who've been, in women for that matter, who've been developmental there for a long time.
Yeah, sure.
Who, for whatever reason,
like I'll be honest,
barely getting on TV.
I'll be honest with you. Like you could swap out, and this is taking nothing away from them necessarily, but Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah, And I'll be honest, like if it was like a swap for swap situation, Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo, I mean, I've been a fan of theirs for a while now. I'd love to see them on TV.
Totally.
But like Aaliyah's been in developmental for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just don't know why she's still there.
You got, guys like Riddick Moss have been there for a long time.
Who apparently has a great work ethic.
Yeah. And some of the stuff towards the tail end of his partnership with Tino, he was actually pretty funny. Some of the promo stuff he was doing.
Yeah.
Remember we were at that house show here and he dropped a really good promo.
Yeah. And then what I'm hoping is with the Malcolm Bivens stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be like a faction.
Yeah.
Where it'll allow for more time.
But I'd understand, guys like Riddick Moss who'd been in there for a while. And it seemed like he and Tino were going places as a tag team. Injuries happen, can't do much about that. But then they come back, and based on maybe not already being towards the top of the card, plus having a bunch of new talent come in, it's probably like starting over all over again after you've already been there for 5 years.
Yeah,
and you feel like, okay, I'm on the verge of something happening. I got something going here. Injuries happen again. That stuff just kind of happens sometimes. And then you come back and you're like, wait, I'm just doing Florida house show loop for a while now.
Yeah.
It seemed like the next step was, if not title program, at least, a decent run of the Dusty Classic, something like that.
Yeah.
So I completely understand when people get frustrated with that.
Yeah, no,
you got to start changing in the hallway because the locker room's full.
Yeah. Anyways, let's do a Raw preview.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So Survivor Series on the horizon. This is the go home.
This is go home. I'll kick it off. Seth Rollins to wager his Survivor Series berth against Andrade on Raw. That should be a good match. Although Seth is not going to be captain. Seth Rollins was the first superstar announced for Team Raw in the Men's Survivor Series match. Now, thanks to an intense back and forth that began with Zelina Vega's Twitter provocation, he might not make the pay-per-view at all. And then after the main event in Germany, the Architect responded with a message of his own and will face the former NXT champion this Monday for the captain spot on Team Raw. Rollins and Andrade are two of the best at what they do, so the match is already highly anticipated, but it's hardly a given that the Beast Slayer will prevail. Ever since running afoul of the Fiend Bray Wyatt, Rollins has been searching for something to right the ship, while Andrade has held steady with a series of unanswered wins following his arrival on Raw. Should Rollins falter again and should Andrade continue to cruise, Survivor Series will look very, very different. They should have Andrade win this. That'd be shocking.
It'd be awesome.
No one would expect it.
Nobody would expect
it. Keep Seth off Survivor Series entirely.
Yeah. And then he reverts to his party boy days in NXT, and he has everybody go out partying with him Saturday night. Vámonos, amigos.
I mean, I guess if you want to go back to that, it seems going backward rather than forward, though.
No, man. What was I telling off camera? I was like, he should have a Raw team meeting. That's what they should. They should spoof the Raw team meeting thing.
Yeah.
But like his entire speech is like in Espanol. Everybody's scrambling to find Zelina Vega or Humberto Carrillo. Anyways, next, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair to compete in tag team action. Does it say who?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
win for them.
Yeah. Next, Rey Mysterio to appear live on Raw. You do your segments your way. I'll do them my way.
All right, fine. I'll do this one. Rey Mysterio to appear live on Raw before challenging Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. Rey has been relatively quiet since hobbling Brock Lesnar with a pipe and challenging the Beast to WWE Championship match at Survivor Series. Ultimate Underdog will surge back into the forefront this Monday when he appears live just 6 days before his monumental opportunity. Whatever he has to say will surely be worth hearing as Survivor Series approaches, and of course, there's always a possibility that Lesnar isn't far behind.
Next. So wait,
you're getting all the automatic W's here.
Rey Mysterio. I'm looking at this Rey Mysterio one.
He's just talking.
He's just gonna talk. Okay. Hey, he's been killing those promos.
Yeah,
lately,
man,
though.
He's been doing the best promo
talking
work
about
of his career.
Familias and stuff like that.
Man,
I saw you looking at that right there. The Aaliyah nose. That's fake as crap. That is not. There is no way that blood is
Probably
real.
not. But this is from Wrestle Talk. Apparently, it was a stage injury, but it's because apparently she's surgery or something.
Oh, okay. So it was fake. Like I said, it was fake,
but not for the exact reason that.
But not to generate a story. Okay, it's because she needs to be written off.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the fake. That was the fakest looking nose. Anyways, next, here we go. Zack Ryder and Curt Hawkins to challenge Raw Tag Team Champions, the Viking Raiders.
Win for Viking Raiders. Is it for the actual titles?
Yeah, to challenge for the titles.
Well, this says Challenge Raw Tag Team Champions. Not the same as actually. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah, because they won a triple threat match.
Wow.
So it's a golden title opportunity. They beat the OC and the Street Profits. So that was specifically so they can go and lose to the Viking Raiders.
Gosh. Wow.
And this is a big match.
Storytelling.
I get the points on
You
that.
get 15 points when War Raiders win.
Did you ever figure out what the score is right now?
You're up by a lot. Natalya to battle WWE Women's Tag Champion Asuka. Not everyone can boast that they submitted Asuka in the middle of the ring, but 2 weeks ago, Natalya did just that. And while the Queen of Hearts missed out the WWE Women's Tag Team title match she seemed headed toward last week. Yeah, they never really explained that. Or they did, I guess.
Oh, God. They better not have Natalya beat Asuka clean here.
She'll get a chance to face off with the Empress of Tomorrow 101 come Monday. Given that Natalya owns an emphatic victory over Asuka, it's safe to say she holds an early mental advantage going into the match. Of course, Kairi Sane's presence is likely to complicate the proceedings. As good as Natalya is, there simply aren't two of her. Unless she learned how to clone herself.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, this could be Rawgate situation happening here.
Could be.
It could be.
Could be.
Anyways.
Let's answer some questions, yeah?
Yeah, sounds good. Oops, stop that, you.
Grappling Gamer says, keep up the good work. Thank you.
Arma, if Vince cares about money and these segments cost him money, wouldn't you think he'd stop them? Here's the thing.
He's got money coming in hand over fist other places.
He was based off of everything he's done in his life, even over the past 5 years at how bad things have been. He has still managed to sign not one, but $2 billion deals doing things this way. He is not going to stop.
No.
He is not going to stop unless his back is against the wall.
People start pulling out all sorts of money.
Stock price plummets.
He loses sponsors.
Yeah.
If all that happens, maybe. Max Montgomery says, sorry to call you guys out live, but he hasn't got his Friendo Care package from September.
I think that was one I actually sent out because I saw he sent us a message and I forgot. I just neglected to respond to it. But I'm pretty sure I sent that one out. But I'll hop on that today, make sure. There's,
sorry about that, Max.
A bunch of them for September I need to send out.
Brandon Garza says, let's scroll up here. How do you think Marty would debut in AEW?
They'd have to do it in a way that's like not obvious. Like, you know, like it would AEW, the one thing that WCW and WWE did back in the day that was really cool was new signees and their debuts. You'd have to do, like, ideally you would do something along the lines of Jericho's countdown clock thing, right?
Yeah.
But somehow, some way, you'd have to pull a swerve that it wasn't Marty.
Yeah. So you can't say countdown to villainy or something like that.
I don't know how to do it. It'd have to be something like, you know, Marty would have to put out there that he signed with somebody else. Or he'd have to put it out there that his contract...
He's showing up on some show the day before a huge AEW show, like the Hardys did before Mania 30.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He'd have to, like, they'd have to really orchestrate that, and then it would be a truly shocking thing, you know? I mean, it'd be along the lines of, at that first All In, when people were like, Double or Nothing, when Mox showed up. How everybody was like, "Oh no, Mox isn't going to show up.
He's shooting a movie.
He's shooting a movie. Because he was already doing New Japan stuff, I think, right? Yeah, he was doing New Japan stuff. He's not going to be there. And then boom, it's like, oh my God, did not see that coming. Yeah. Like there was the possibility, but we didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah, generally accepted. Have faith in NXT. Triple H waits until he has a plan. Seems like it. Romeo Barnes, wasn't NXT $1 billion deal too? No, I think they're getting 50.
It's somewhere between 30 and 50.
Yeah.
For 1 or 2 years. We're not really sure. Let's see here. Jimmy Thomas wants to mention that tomorrow on Impact, they're doing their own version of the Southpaw thing. It's the throwback.
I saw that.
So that should be fun. I might actually check some of that out. I don't have access, but do they still do it on Twitch?
I don't know. I don't have access either. So.
I haven't heard that they don't do Twitch. So let's see here. Cody Miles. I haven't been watching SmackDown or Raw in a few weeks, and I just got here. What the F is that thumbnail? And is that real?
It's very real, Cody.
It's very real, sadly enough. Mr. Triple Mania has another question about the villain. He says, when Marty Scurll inevitably goes to AEW, I don't think that's a given. Do you think he'll join his elite buddies in the battle against the Inner Circle, or do you think instead he'll join the Inner Circle because he'll have a grudge against the elite for leaving him? Maybe Marty will be the guy who brings the elite back together since they seem to be falling apart right now.
Jamencito Gomez, dropped a universal term for SmackDown Heavyweight Championship.
Drop universal term.
Don't call it the universal title on SmackDown. It's called the SmackDown title.
Oh, is he breaking some news to us? Is that what they're actually going to do?
No, I think he's suggesting.
Oh. Nah, I'm not huge on that. I prefer the term universal. Let's see here. Okay, Alex Foster says, my teacher tried telling another student in news writing that there was only one AAA, the driving company. I almost leapt out of my chair when I heard that. Alex Foster is about to be Aerostar.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to get up on the ceiling and jump down on him.
Patrick Sparks was worst let down. Matt Hardy's Woken stuff not being good, or Bray Wyatt's title reign and subsequent Mania match with Randy.
Boy, that's a good question. So WWE's Matt Hardy broken stuff, which was the Woken stuff, or Bray Wyatt's title. So
I feel like Bray's title reign was more of a letdown because there was potential for something interesting to happen there.
So the actual title reign itself and the story with Randy, for the most part, was actually pretty good stuff. It's just if you're including that Mania match and how they like fast tracked Randy burning down his house, which could have been the culmination of a really cool build.
Yeah.
Then that was a big fart.
Yeah, it was.
But there was a lot of cool stuff in the meantime. Mm-hmm. There was some cool stuff. There's that giant whiff. There's that nasty fart match that they had. The Woken stuff was good when they did it the way that it was supposed to be done. That one time I think they did it
with Bray.
With Bray. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, it was fun.
They just did it the one time and never went back to it.
I know.
So they're both good and bad for their own ways.
I think the Bray stuff was probably more disappointing.
That was the bigger letdown because it had that big match at the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
DKC returns. Hogan's NWO beard and stash combo. Yay or nay?
Oh, yay. I thought that was rad. Yeah. I was a big fan of NWO Hogan, man. I thought he was cool. Let's see here. Wrestle King 68. Whether it's a shoot or a work, Cornette sure seems to get off on criticizing AEW. Isn't his precious tag team there now? Will he criticize them too?
Oh, Rock and Roll Express.
Well, Rock and Roll Express getting some big pops there in AEW. No, of course he won't criticize them. He picks and chooses. Sad day, though. He has abandoned his son, Brian Zane,
I saw
on
that.
Twitter.
I saw that.
He has been Brian Zane has been blocked. Blocked, I tell you, by Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
What a maniac. Oh, my goodness. All these people. What's the world coming to?
I know. Blake Elizondo. Rollins loses captainship tonight. Wednesday is revealed the winner at War Game gets to pick a member to be captain. NXT Rollins comes out as fourth member. His team wins, and he captains. Oh, Team NXT is Survivor Series. Neutral Rollins helps us have a heel-face mix in a Team NXT at Survivor Series. Yay or nay? So Rollins loses tonight. Wednesday is revealed the winner at War Games gets to pick a member to be captain of Team NXT.
Wouldn't they just pick themselves?
Yeah, I guess.
Like if I win War Games, I'm gonna be like, well, I just won War Games. I'm captain. Look at me. I'm the captain.
That's what I would think too.
That's what I would do.
Joe Juarez asks, what did Zayn say to Cornette?
I think Zayn was talking about, and I got sort of tangentially involved in the conversation. It was about the comedy wrestling stuff. Like Zayn was saying, it's ridiculous that anybody would just outright want to delete comedy wrestling from the landscape. And my thing is, there's a market for it.
Yeah.
If it stops being profitable, it'll probably go away.
Yep.
But people like it, so who is anybody to say
it's got no place in the
not
industry?
only do I look, if you want to say I don't like this stuff, that's totally cool.
Totally.
But to say
ban it
should be gone and done, it's killing the business. There's been $2 billion deals to keep wrestling on TV, plus an additional $30 to $50 million to put wrestling on Wednesdays, plus TNT for the first time in 20 some odd years or whatever put wrestling on TV.
Yeah, wrestling's doing fine.
In a pretty darn good deal over there with AEW. Wrestling right now is doing just fine.
It's fine.
Could it be better? I mean, my thing is this, like, one of the main problems with wrestling right now is simply WWE's main roster creative, which I think generates a lot of enthusiasm. Like, if it's good, people will be really into wrestling, and then they'll start disseminating amongst the other wrestling. And so I think it's a rising tide thing. Mm-hmm. But regardless of that, even wrestling is doing fine right now.
Doing fine. Daniel Encina says, do you think Brian Cage will head to AEW? He wanted to be a Double or Nothing, but Impact wouldn't let him, so I wouldn't be surprised. And then Samuel Duplessis says, did you hear the American Legion Hall is getting torn down? That sucks.
I thought that was getting torn down like weeks ago.
No.
I thought they already started that.
That's a bummer.
Brian, what about when his contract with Impact is up?
Brian Cage? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either. But I don't know. It depends on if Impact treats him really well and if Impact gets, I don't know.
If AEW has a spot for him even.
Yeah.
Greg Morris, since my question about snitching turned into a thing, let's put a spin on it. Larson, you find out Steve through time travel is the brains behind the finger poke of doom. Do you turn him in? No, I don't really care.
Wouldn't you just want a shoot interview with me?
Yeah, but we just use it for our own benefit.
How would I prove that to you? That'd be crazy.
What?
Like,
I don't know. You'd have
I have something to tell you.
Some receipts from somewhere, some restaurant from 1998 or something. I don't know.
That would do it, really?
Well, I mean, like, where was that Nitro? Was that the one it was in the South somewhere, wasn't it?
Probably they were all in the South somewhere.
So long as it wasn't L.A. or Northern California, pretty good sense of where you were for most of 1998.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
If he had a gas station or restaurant receipt from somewhere that was not in California, I'd be like, okay, that's weird. As far as I know, he didn't leave the state that year.
Yeah, I would think that just like an iPhone selfie of me with like Hogan from 1998 and Bischoff probably do the trick.
That kind of weird.
What's that little device there, brother?
I guess I'd probably weird out Hogan.
Like, Hogan, listen, beware of hidden cameras.
Oh, wow.
They're everywhere, man. Let's see here. Aaron Sandlin, favorite Survivor Series moment? I think it was Survivor Series 98.
Yeah,
right?
the whole show, man.
My personal favorite Survivor Series moment was Triple H laughing his way through a couple Survivor Series ago. I love, man, that dude. Sometimes he just wants to go out there. Everything, all the building up younger talent, all the building storylines be damned. I wonder if that was just a big troll on Vince. Like, he's like, hey, main roster's such a mess right now anyways.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out there and have fun because who cares?
Maybe.
I'm doing my thing in NXT.
Maybe. Eric Barbosa, with UFC doing a BMF belt for the hardest and most brutal fighters in MMA, who is in wrestling the BMF champion?
Okay, are we talking about all of wrestling? Or
yeah, all of wrestling.
Who's the actual BMF?
I'll just name some names. I guess you got to put Brock in there because he's done MMA.
Yeah.
He almost knocked out Braun with one punch.
Like, do you put a guy like Nick Gage in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Isn't he like the BMF?
He'd be in contention. You'd probably put Brock in there.
Yeah.
Because he's a legit fighter.
Yeah.
You have to put Matt Riddle in there.
Oh,
Again, legit fighter.
Yeah.
Josh Barnett.
Yeah.
Put him in there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You can put Nick Gage.
Well, okay. Well, that's a question. I mean, Nick Gage has done time.
Yeah.
So that makes him a BMF.
Yeah.
Could he actually hold his own in a real fight against any of the guys that you just named?
I don't know.
Because, yeah, Barnett, Riddle, those are names.
You got to put Minoru Suzuki in there. I'm sure he can still throw hands.
100%. Yeah.
I'm sure I can think of more. Tom Lawler.
Uh-huh.
People are Villalobos says Haku. Good choice.
Curt modern day Haku?
You want to try messing with him?
Well, no, but I'm not sure he could like hang with any of those guys you just mentioned.
I don't know, man.
At a certain point, all of the like age really catches up to you in real fighting. I don't know, man. I mean, like, yeah, I appreciate that Haku's like a legit tough guy, but fighting is fighting. That's a different thing.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to mess with him.
Ken Shamrock.
Oh yeah,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, got to put Shamrock on there.
Like, my thing is, Ken Shamrock took the dick flip. Then doesn't that say something like, just freaking lighten up, man?
I know.
Lighten up. Like that kind of stuff, the kind of stuff that Cornette talks about these days, like blocking Brian Zane and stuff like that. Brian Zane's such a sweetheart. I love that guy.
He's a great dude, man.
He's awesome, man. He's terrific. Like blocking people for that kind of stuff. it makes me now when I watch NWA. I love Power, man. I love it. But I'm going to sit there and be like, man, that dude's a turd.
Yeah, that's what I was saying last time when we were talking about it.
I know, but like I'll forget. I'll forgive and forget after if there's been some time. It's like, okay, he settled down a little bit.
He's still a turd.
Yeah.
Because he constantly tries to find little ways, maybe not constantly, but far too often, little ways to continue being a turd that has nothing to do with the context of the show.
Like you're just spreading divisiveness.
I know.
You're
help build
you
up
know,
this community.
every week over there I joke on the Wednesday night Who Won Wednesdays. I joke and I say this show's all about spreading toxicity, and it's an obvious joke because I don't want to do that.
No, but there's far too many people who
who
do
legitimately do, who actually do, and it's like, bro, you're a wealth of information in historically speaking in wrestling terms.
Yeah,
and it's like, why don't you just like offer up some of that instead of just all these outlaw mud wrestlers?
I know, man.
Get out of here with that. What are you, like 100,000 years old?
Carlos, do you think Kairi Sane leaves WWE after Mania? Don't know when her contract's up, and Meltzer was like, yeah, she'll consider it.
Yeah,
but
that's
again, it's
right.
Meltzer,
yeah.
so, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Kelly88 says, wrestling, all entertainment for that matter, is best. It's a little bit of everything, has a balanced and cohesive story. Everything has a place. That's totally true.
Yep.
That's totally true.
Yep.
Let's see here.
Carlos asks, how long would you last in Alistar Wonka's chocolate factory?
Ooh. I don't know. I got quite the sweet tooth, but I'm also like, I don't like breaking the rules. I get nervous about breaking rules.
I know.
So I would probably, but I also choke under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a matter of lasting till the end, I would probably get to right before the end and then gobble down. Especially if he has some sort of, I'm not big on candy. I like snack cakes. I like sweet cakes, like Hostess. If he has anything that's like, like a Alistar Wonka Twinkie.
Yeah.
Man, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'll get yelled at by him, and I'll probably get a black mask.
See, I'm not huge into the sweets, and then I'm like you. I'm pretty good about holding to the rules.
Yeah.
I think I'd do okay.
Yeah, but then here's the thing about you also is that in the end, you're saddled with paperwork and the deed, and now you got to run a business, a candy business, something that you're not really passionate about. Remember you got laid off and you're like, I don't want to do gaming because I'm not really into it.
Yeah.
You're not into candy.
But here's the thing. Guess what? I'm getting this deed. I'm getting this company free gratis, right? Guess what I can do? Take that deed, turn around, put it for the highest bidder. Even if I get $1 for it, guess what? $1 more than I had the day before.
It's like you're going to be like one of them equity firms that takes over Toys R Us, lays everybody else off, guts the assets.
No, I would probably sell to that company. I wouldn't do it. I would just sell it and be like, all right, sorry. I don't know anything about the candy business.
I watched the documentary, this Netflix drop. They have that awesome toy documentary series called The Toys That Made Us.
Yeah.
And I watched the Ninja Turtles one. Nickelodeon or Viacom bought that for $60 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then turned around the first year, they had a profit of like $450 from exploitation of the turtles. Those dudes just making money hand over fist. But one of the turtle guys sold, because he got tired of dealing with it, sold his shares or whatever to the other turtle guy. And that turtle guy ended up selling it for $60 million. I'm not sure how much that first guy got in the first place.
Yeah.
But it was sweet. At the very end, because they had not talked in like 20 years.
Yeah, it was Eastman and
Laird, yeah. And then they came together. They both seem to have a pretty good, they got a head on their shoulders still about everything, even about losing $60 million. But yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's it. We're going to do an overrun for dollar patrons and YouTube channel members. So keep an eye out for that. We'll probably eat lunch first, and then we'll do that in about, or we can hop right in that because I know you got to get going.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Okay.
So we'll do that in like maybe 10 minutes or so. And we're going to talk about Bash the Beach.
Yep.
AEW's upcoming extravaganza. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.